Yo, we are back for our week one battle. Uh, First video, draft analysis. Gonna jump right into this. Draft analysis got, way more love than I thought it was going to. Especially after not posting a video in a while. But people seem to like it, so I figured I'd go ahead and put out week one as well, pretty early since I've already played the game. There's no surprise. I mean, you can see the team on your screen. You can see my opponent's team right under them. If you don't want to watch the team builder, because I know personally I don't really like watching team builders when I watch draft games, there's going to be a what's it called, a little linky link down in the description that will take you right to a timestamp. That's what it is, a timestamp in the description that will take you to right to the battle. So if you want to just go ahead and skip to the battle, I won't feel bad, just go ahead and go. But we're going to jump into the team builder. You can see my opponent's team, right? We've got Como, Primarina, Spectrier, Swampert, Moltres, Beedrill Mega, Helix, Alolan Persian, Serena, Blaster, Emolga. So they've got double horse. They've got Como, which is super scary. Primarina hits like a truck. Mega Beedrill hits like a truck. They've got the Steelix that we wanted, and just a Swampert that's a little tough for us to deal with sometimes. Just all around a weird kind of bulky team filled with a bunch of breakers, and that's just what their team is. So going into this game, I knew that, like I said in the draft analysis, if you don't prep for Spectrier, it becomes a problem, but if you do prep for Spectrier, then it's kind of okay. So we have like the Obstagoon, you can see we're bringing Hatterene for like the Como, even though the Hatterene set's kind of tricky with Como anyways. Charizard Mega, when you look at their team, it has sets that it can work. Swampert needs to be chipped. Steelix needs to make sure that Sturdy's broken, which affected a couple of the decisions I made a little bit later. Steelix, I think, was one of the scariest Pokemon going into this game. It was something that if they were sturdy, they could revenge Charizard. It had pretty good coverage for my team. Kind of forced me into bringing Celebi. It kind of puts a stop to Crobat too, especially the Crobat set that I needed for this game. But overall, we will get to that in a little bit. So you can see the Charizard. It's been on the screen for a minute now. It has Dragon Dance, Blaze Kick, Dragon Claw, Thunder Punch. I put Blaze Kick because I really didn't want to chip myself down with Flare Blitz, and I figured I'm gonna play the risk. I'm gonna miss the Blaze Kick if I miss the Blaze Kick, because I can really click Dragon Claw versus most of the team, and then Thunder Punch is for the Primarina, because after Dragon Dance, I think I don't remember the calc exactly. Primarina basically takes a lot from the Thunder Punch. It's just a standard set. We got to go Adamant because I think the next thing that is as fast as Charizard under us was Moltres, but I didn't think Moltres was coming to this game. Like Charizard can set up on it. The most Moltres can do is Toxic us back, because this isn't first turn Mega, so they could bring Scorching Sands if they wanted to, but they've always got to think like, what if he doesn't Mega here and I Scorching Sands into him not Megaing, and then they don't hit me. So that was kind of it. Charizard is pretty straightforward. Then we're bringing the Thundurus because, I mean, look at the team. The Thundurus does really well into the team T-Bite. Thunderbolt, Psychic, Grass Knot does super well into the whole team. I was originally plot on this, but I got to talking with like Toggle and Lambo and Clay, and one of them pointed out I might have wanted T-Wave for a potential Como with Belly Drum and Salic Berry and stuff, maybe even DD Como. Belly Drum was the thing that really scared me going into it, because if you look, like sub Belly Drum Salic just wins. I don't do much to stop it. I had to play really aggressively with like Infiltrator Crobat or with my Thundurus or something. It's really hard to stop it. I have to switch in my Thundurus as they sub, and then I have to Psychic to break the sub as they Belly Drum, and then I've got a T-Wave and Psych my Thundurus. So it was something that I was scared of going into it. Thundurus, modest for the same reason. That's pretty much it. T-Wave also helps with, like the Mega Beedrill, the Spectre, all their fast Pokemon. T-Wave really helps. Prankster T-Wave was pretty good in this matchup, especially because I could be modest for like the Steelix and stuff. Then we got Crobat, Air Slash, Giga Drain, Roost, Defog. I wanted to bring a more offensive Crobat. I think offensive Crobat really went in on this team. The problem was Mega Beedrill. It kind of forced us into being a more defensive Crobat. which is still fine because you can look at our set. We didn't need that much defense for Mega Beedrill to not be able to break us, and we still got a lot of offense out. Because I didn't even worry about trying to be tied with Spectrier. I didn't worry about anything like that. I think I'm just outspeeding Como, or who would it be? Como, maybe Persian. I don't know how fast. Can't remember off the top of my head how fast Persian is. But we've got Air Slash. Really just hits most everything except Steelix, and Giga Drain hits like the Swampert and the Primarina and stuff like that. It also kind of hits the Steelix. I just needed ways to kind of chip down Steelix. Super Fang was a thought here, stuff like that. But this is the Crobat set I went with, just because I think Mega Beedrill could have gotten out of hand, because it does have Drill Run for Charizard Mega, so I didn't want to play that game with it. So I just opted to make sure I had my Mega Beedrill switch in. Then we brought Celebi, just max Spadef, because if you look at Primarina, you say, okay, we're gonna bring our grass type max Spadef, especially whenever you've got 100 bulk across the board. It's actually a pretty good switch in. Even specs Moonblast or specs Ice Beam. Energy Ball was just for a little bit more damage output than Giga Drain, and since I had Recover, I didn't think I needed Giga Drain at all. This was our rocker this week because I felt like we needed the rocks up to break the Steelix. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said Steelix kind of affected the game plan a little bit, because I had my Milotic on this and I was looking at it and it was just like, I need rocks somewhere because I want to break Sturdy, and if he's not leftovers, then I get to break Sturdy with rocks. If he is Sturdy, that at least stops him from being able to switch in and take a move. So I opted to go Celebi just for the rock option over Milotic, and I think it was a good play because even still with the Milotic, the Primarina matchup was getting a little bit dicey. Even the Swampert matchup was getting a little bit dicey at that point, because if Swampert got toxic, the Milotic or whatever, it can wear it down, whereas we have natural cure on Celebi, so toxic from Swampert or whatever is fine. We have a pretty good Scald switch in because they've got 2 Scald users and stuff, so Celebi was my way of dealing with it. And once I convinced myself that Moltres wasn't coming, Celebi was just like, okay, we can bring it. It also is another stop to Como. If they were a Clanging Souls Throat Spray Como, the Spadef Celebi would have been able to deal with it. Even Hatterene would have been able to deal with it, but at least I have 2 outs there, if that's the case. Then we've got Obstagoon. We're actually bringing the RU set of Facade knockoff for us Sleep Talk. It was Clay's idea because I was thinking about coming with an AV Obstagoon, and the problem with it was Spectrier could wear it down over the game, / other things could wear it down over the game, and it just wasn't, I don't know, when I was putting other sets on there, I think Spectrier still had other ways to get around it. This set, there's not many ways Spectrier gets around it. He had to be like max attack double kick or something. So I thought this set was pretty good. If you don't know, Facade is affected by sleep, but Guts is not affected by sleep. It might be the other way around. One of the things is not affected by sleep and one of the things is affected by sleep. I think it's Guts that's not affected by sleep, but that just meant that even if we rolled Facade with Sleep Talk, we're still getting a lot of damage out from it because we're getting that boost still. Sleep Talk knockoff is just taking an item on something. This was the reason that I kind of opted for this LB 2 because a Sleep Obstagoon is a big setup target for Como. Obstagoon in general is a big setup target for Como if I'm clicking the wrong moves against it. So it's why I went for Celebi and Hatterene on the paste and Crobat. Like I had and T-Wave Thundurus. I had a bunch going into that Como because the Como just, you know, it can have it. All it needs is one opportunity and it can be game. Last, we've got the Hatterene for the Como. We've got Draining Kiss, Mystical Fire, Nuzzle, Psychic. Just because I didn't really need much else, I could have put Giga Drain on for the Swampert. Nuzzle was for a Spectrier that was trying to be weird and switch in to my Hatterene because they don't think they think they can take a Draining Kiss or whatever. Mystical Fire obviously to hit the Steelix, and Psychic just to hit in general, hit Beedrill trying to switch in and stuff like that. And then we've got the Babiri Berry. Babiri Berry was basically for if Belly Drum Como came. I was guessing that it would have Iron Head. It was like, it could have Iron Head, it could have Poison Jab. If they call it right, then they call it right, I guess. Yeah, if they called Poison Jab over Babiri Berry and I just got it wrong, then, you know, this was kind of my last ditch effort to beat a Belly Drum Como. All the other things before you heard was kind of my first ways of trying to beat it. And if it came down to the 50-50 between the berry and the super effective move that they brought, then like if they won it, that's on them. That's on me, you know, like I just got it wrong. But I was hoping that it wouldn't come down to that. I went for Babiri too because if they are the special Komodo set, I eat a flash cannon a lot better and just draining kiss all my health back. And otherwise, a DD Como never breaks this. Rocks Como is like really bad into this because we just magic bounce him back. When I made the team, I was thinking Steelix was coming with Rocks, just because it rocks against Hatterene. I can't really switch my Hatterene into Steelix, so that's why I went for like Defog and Crobat and stuff, because I assumed that the Steelix was gonna get Rocks up. But that's the team. And now let's jump into the battle. Alright, so we're in the battle. You can see they brought Como, Spectrier, Swampert, Primarina, Beedrill, Steelix. Almost, I think we called that exact 6 in the group chat that I was in whenever I was talking for this game. Like, I was not surprised at all to see these 6 come. So I'm gonna go ahead and click play. They led Swampert. I was always leading Thundurus or Crobat. I decided I was gonna lead Thundurus because, as you can see, I just get the straight up Grass Knot turn 1. Right there we see that's a Spadef Steelix. I think it did like 39 max. Grass Knot did like 39 max to it. So we see Spadef Steelix, we see leftovers. We go for the Grass Knot again because I'm thinking, okay, we saw Spadef Steelix. I didn't expect Head Smash. I will say I did not expect Head Smash. I thought he was gonna rock there, or he was going to Iron Head / Stone Edge. I thought Rocks was just the play. So I just went for the Grass Knot again to punish the Steelix, because in my mind, this is the thing I'm most scared of. It stops the Obstagoon. It can stop. It's really annoying for Crobat. Without Steelix here, like Crobat's coverage just, you know, beats everything else. So I was okay with getting rid of this. I was expecting Rocks. I count Stone Edge. Stone Edge didn't kill. I count after the game the Head Smash. The Head Smash also didn't kill because he was Spadef Steelix. But if he had any more offense, like I just knew he had to be max because of the roll I got first. But if he was anything else, then the Head Smash definitely would have killed. But luckily we were just out of range. I think it did like 96 or something. And in my mind, even if he Stone Edged, it was like my Thundurus at 18 or 20, whatever it was going to be, is just as useful as my Thundurus at 100. That's just how Thundurus plays. I didn't think I needed HP on Thundurus, but he does get the miss. It kind of sucked for him, but you know, that's how the game goes sometimes. So we go for it again. We go for the Grass Knot. He goes into Beedrill. Here I decide to T-Wave because again, Beedrill can't do anything to kill me here. He goes for the U-turn. And he goes into Spectrier. I swapped into Obstagoon, I'm pretty sure, and he goes back into Steelix. And my Flamore procs, I'm always going into Obstagoon on that. We're back. I'm always going Obstagoon there just to stop Spectrier from being able to, you know, start to snowball with like Specs or something. I really didn't want Crobat to die either. I need Crobat around for a little bit. So when Obstagoon, he goes to Steelix, which was a good play. I think going Steelix there was a good double. So then we go into Celebi because I'm expecting a body press, EQ or something. They go into Como, and then I go into Hatterene. It's a lot of switching. I go into Celebi expecting the Steelix to just hit me. Celebi eats whatever. And I kind of thought he might rock there too, but I'm not going into Hatterene. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into Hatterene on the rocks. They double out into Como as I double out into Celebi, and then they rock, which was weird. It was really weird to me that their rocker of choice was Como whenever I have a Hatterene. I don't know if they overlooked the Hatterene. I don't know what was going on, but I mean, they just gave us, I didn't even need rocks on Celebi. They just gave us our rocks, because if you look at their team, they have no removal at all. So they just gave us rocks on their side, and Hatterene comes in and just walls this Como for a little bit. They go back into Steelix. I make the read for the Mystical Fire because it's like Beedrill or Steelix. What are you going into here? Even Spectrier, I get the special attack drop. So we kill the Steelix, they go into Beedrill, we go into Crobat. I'm just planning on roostalling here until they either switch or until I get a full para. That happens immediately. I just get the full para immediately. They give me Beedrill, and then they go into Swampert, which was another weird play. I just Giga Drain, and then they flip turn. I don't know if that's banded damage or not. It was a pretty offensive Swampert though. So here's where the game gets a little bit trickier. We go back in our Obstagoon, they sub. I think we click knockoff here. They double kick, which you'll see does 40-ish. It did 39. So we click knockoff, and then after this, it's just like I'm gonna click knockoff again. They disable. This is where the game gets a little bit tricky, because at this point, I don't know how Sleep Talk interacts with disable. I don't know if, because knockoff's disabled, if my Sleep Talk can still roll knockoff. So I didn't want to play around with that game, and I didn't want to play around with sleep turns and let the Spectre maybe substitute up and get some Calm Minds off and start Dark Pulsing my whole team, because if it's able to disable my Obstagoon, then, and I'm not able to roll knockoff, Dark Pulse is still gonna just pretty much beat me. But I did see double kick at that point, so it can't be sub, Calm Mind, double kick, disable, and Dark Pulse, and Shadow Ball. So I mean, we know that there's only one last move that the Spectre can have, which I was just guessing was Shadow Ball. It could have been Dark Pulse. Either one, my game plan is still the same. So I expect them to maybe double kick it here again. You saw how much damage it did the first time, so we know double kick isn't going to kill, and I can rest up here no matter what. So they sub again, we rest, and like I said, I didn't know how rest or how Sleep Talk interacted with disable, so I switched out because they have to double kick. So I'll go into my Charizard that resists, and because Mega Charizard's bulk is so good and they didn't get their rocks up earlier, we eat the Shadow Ball and we're able to get rid of the sub. So we get rid of the sub. I Thunder Punch just in case they go Primarina or something. Swampert was already super low, so Dragon Claw would have killed if they tried to switch in for Thunder Punch. So we go Thundurus here because we just need a T-Wave off. We get the T-Wave off, they get fully parried. Had they killed Thundurus there, you know, it's good for them. I don't think it was a game changer. And then we just go back to Obstagoon. At this point, Obstagoon starts to really wreck this team. At this point too, I know that Como is rocks, so I've thrown Belly Drum out of my mind. I don't think the Como can be Belly Drum anymore. So I can be a little bit more liberal with how I'm playing with my Pokemon. They go Primarina, we go Celebi. You see it ate that up. Celebi claims a kill here because he can't switch in Spectre twice. Como doesn't want to come in and take a Psychic, so he goes back into Spectre here. We go Obstagoon again, just putting on a ton of pressure. They can still try to sub. It's just at this point, being paralyzed, it's not great for them. They could get fully paired. We roll the Facade here and we do major damage. I know I wake up this turn, Facade kills, so I just went for it again. We get our Flame Orb back, and then they go Como. It's 5v2. Like, at no point in this now should I lose this game. We've got Thundurus, Crobat, Celebi, Obstagoon, Hatterene versus Como, Spectre. So I've got my Hatterene versus Como, and I've got my Obstagoon versus Spectre, two of some of the hardest counters to these last two Pokemon. In the season, I'm only worried about just winning games. I'm not worried about differential or anything. I'm just worried about winning my games. If I need to win it, the safest way to win it is a 1-0. I'm winning it a 1-0. I'm not worrying about differential. So I go into my Hatterene here because I'm still at full health. They Poison Jab. We get the poison, or they get the poison, and then, you know, I just Draining Kiss because I can. There's not really anything else I need to do. We get a bunch of health back. We take the poison chip, which is fine. I go back in Obstagoon. It's like they can sub here, but they just keep clicking Shadow Ball. I don't know if at this point in the game they're just trying to maybe get some kind of differential. We click knock. I think I went into Thundurus here and sacked it because, like I said, if they poison jab again into Hatterene, then they can 2-hit KO it, and I needed my Hatterene around in case they were like Dragon Dance or something, and I figured if they Dragon Dance there, we go into Thunder, so we get a Thunder Wave off. But we just get chip on it. Obstagoon comes back in. It's able to click Facade because Obstagoon's faster, and then the Spectre has to come back in and take the knockoff, and that'll be the game. So if there were things I could have I would have done differently playing the game. Probably looking up in the middle of the game how sleep talking disable works. I just flat out didn't know. I think in hindsight, it was really dumb of me to not think they wouldn't bring poison jab on Como, because I have a Celebi too. So poison jab Como is probably pretty obvious when you realize they can hit Celebi and Hatterene, the two kind of Como-ish checks on my team. So it was kind of weird that I brought Babiri. My thought was it just still helps me with the special set too. So I don't know, maybe I bring Kevia Berry next time if I face this team. Obstagoon, I think definitely should be a little bit bulkier next time I face this team. Maybe even double dark move. That's one thing I said in post-game chat, was I was so close to being double dark move, because like I said, I was almost going AV, which I was gonna go knock off and like throat chop or something. I don't remember what it was, but I was gonna have two dark moves, because what else is Obstagoon gonna have on an AV set? But then I changed it to this rest sleep talk set, so it took up two of my move slots. Maybe double dark move comes next time. Maybe my Crobat comes a little bit more offensively. I think I played the game pretty well, to be honest. I think maybe risking my Thunder so early versus the Steelix wasn't optimal, I'll say, because then I can't make the play with Beedrill. I can't T-Wave Beedrill, because then Beedrill would kill me because of how much chip the Steelix would have taken away from me. But I think overall I played the game really well, other than maybe that one turn, and I didn't really get punished by that one turn. So I think overall it was just a really hard matchup for them and a really good matchup week 1 for us. So that's it. We're 1-0 +4, and I will see you guys in week 2. Adios.